The Bring Back Our Girls movement, a group that has refused to be quieted since the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls in Chibok, gives the federal government a 7-day ultimatum to respond to 14 questions bordering on the incessant insecurity in the country or risk being sued for gross negligence of the people's security and safety.
We're dazed by the news of their abduction on the 19th of February. There was no way we could have been prepared for the fact that another set of girls would ever go through the kind of trauma, the kind of experience that our Chibok girls went through when they were abducted on the 14th of April 2014. 112 of our Chibok girls are still with the terrorists that abducted them. It's going to be 4 years in 3 weeks from now. And for us, what we were waiting for was news of the return of 112 girls. So you can imagine the trauma of waking up to the reality that another set of girls had been abducted.
Reactions get louder over the continuous insecurity in the country. Opposition parties challenge the Buhari-led government to stabilize the nation's security atmosphere. The People's Democratic Party insists the government is politicizing the issues of security in the country, according to its statement released to the public.
Thank you.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, on its own, demands that the security apparatus of the nation be strengthened.
The Board of Trustees, after reviewing the security situation in Nigeria, call on the President and the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, to arrest the security situation in Nigeria. The board further condoles the families of the victims of insecurity and pray for early return of Chibok and Dapchi girls adopted by Boko Haram.
Amnesty International minces no words in stating that security forces failed to act on warnings about Boko Haram's attack on Dapchi hours before the abduction of the schoolgirls. In a statement, the group writes, the Nigerian authorities must investigate the inexcusable security lapses that allowed this abduction to take place without any tangible attempt to prevent it. The statement continues. But the military denies the statement and confidently declares that it is closing in on the abductors of the Dapchi schoolgirls.
We have dispatched all the surveillance devices we have in terms of air, human resource intelligence, and other force that needed to be in place by all possible means. And we have made sure that all is needed is being done to see that these girls are being found out wherever they are. But as soon as possible, and I'm sure with the latest intelligence information we are getting, this type of issues have no timeline. And even if it has, we only give it to the forces. Okay, by social means, we want you to give us an output of what you've been doing. That one is timeline. But for this type kind of issues, cannot fix it and say, no, you must bring them. It can be 2 weeks, but we are on it. And I'm telling you with all sense of sincerity, we are closing on them.
Early Wednesday morning, a month after the schoolgirls' abduction in Dapchi, news of their return filters the air. The girls, still in their uniform, are said to have been dropped off by members of the Boko Haram sect, while the villagers roar in joy for their safe return. 5 of the girls are announced dead. The schoolgirls' return coincides with the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, dispatches a delegation led by the Minister of Information to Dapchi right after the news of their release.
We have been in negotiation with this faction of insurgents for quite a while. And one of the understandings was that while we negotiate towards total cessation of hostility, there will be no abductions. So for us, it was a moral issue. The government, led by its negotiators, reminded them of the agreement that there will be no abduction, that they've breached that agreement. That's why there was no swap, there was no money paid. Any other story to the contrary is false. And what happened was that the insurgents said they were going to unconditionally return the girls themselves to rejoin their families. So when they came, they dropped one of the girls in Gaydam and dropped the rest in Dapchi.